Diddy Docket for Friday, June 20th. Diddy's former assistant, Brendan Paul, is finally on the stand after the court has been off for 2 days. He testified that he worked for Diddy from 2022 or late 2022 until he was arrested in March of 2024 for possession of cocaine. He said the cocaine was in his bag that he uses for his personal assistant duties. He was sweeping a room for Diddy, mistakenly put the cocaine in the wrong bag that he uses to travel for his trip. He said going into the job, Diddy made it clear as far as how tumultuous the job would be. If he had a girlfriend, he needed to get rid of it, that he needed to be ready to devote the majority of his time to becoming his assistant, which is typical in the music industry. He met with Diddy, he met with Christina Quorum, he met with security, so he was mostly working out of Diddy's home in LA. His responsibilities were to handle travel, logistics, and packing, help him with his fitness workouts, meal plans, music-related needs. He admitted that he worked up to 100 hours per week, and he did end up using like Adderall, cocaine to help him stay awake. Now, it is to the point that Brendan Paul did not get on the stand until after he was given an immunity order because he was going to plead the Fifth Amendment. He said if he ever had any issues with the way that Diddy talked to him or treated him, there really wasn't any HR that he could go to. The only point of contact that he really had for any issues was Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Quorum, or he would have to talk to Diddy directly. He testified that part of his job was also to purchase drugs for Diddy. He purchased cocaine, ketamine, ecstasy, and marijuana. He said that he would sometimes pay for $300 to $500 for 1 to 2 grams of drugs, that he would pick up the package without paying for himself. On some occasions, he would text a drug dealer and they would come to Diddy's home to deliver the drugs. To corroborate some of his testimony, the jury did see text messages between Paul, the alleged drug dealer, and one of Diddy's former assistants, where he discusses making a purchase. The person on the other end of the phone asking, "Is it for you or for Puff?" And he responds, "Just say that it is for me. Please don't disclose that I'm actually purchasing drugs for Diddy." As the previous assistants were responsible for, he was responsible to get to the hotel early for these Wild King nights. They were from freak off to hotel nights to Wild King nights. That was his responsibility to show up, clean up before and after. And he said that those Wild King nights ceased after Cassie filed her lawsuit. He testified that he hadn't spoken to Diddy since his arrest at the Miami airport in March of 2024 when he was arrested for drug possession. He said initially that he did not tell the police who the drugs actually were, so they just assumed that they was his. And he said that he did not immediately report that they belonged to Diddy out of loyalty. He did not actually serve any time for that arrest. He said since he has a really good attorney, he ended up doing 20 drug classes and submitted to random drug testing. So that was the end of his direct examination, and now Diddy's defense team is cross-examining him. The defense team right off the bat asked him whether or not he is just Diddy's drug mule. He says no, he just thought that Diddy was using the drugs for recreational use or as part of his Wild King nights. He did testify that at one time he did see Jane at one of the hotels. She did not look as if she was not a willing participant in the activities. He testified that neither Diddy nor Christina Quorum asked him to travel with drugs. Before his arrest, he said it simply was a mistake. He cleaned up the room, forgot that he put the cocaine in the bag that he was taking on the plane. On the redirect, he said that he just understood the Wild King nights to be partying and sex. It was not something that he participated in. He did not think that it was anything illegal going on in the Wild King night. The jury continued to see some more text messages between Diddy, Cassie, and Christina Quorum. The next actual witness on the stand was a Homeland Security special agent. He is another summary witness like the two that we had last week. He explained a chart that includes the location, names, and transportation records associated with it, with a particular time range from May 2021 to August 2024. And the only woman's name on the chart was Jane. She testified earlier in the case. He said before Cassie's lawsuit was filed, most of the locations were hotels. After Cassie's lawsuit was filed, none of the locations were hotels. He said that 3 of the events occurred after Diddy posted his video on May 19, 2024, his apology video for the incident that happened at the hotel where he attacked Cassie. There are 44 entries on the chart. It also has hotel records detailing all the damages that would happen after the hotel nights. The jury also saw some notes and texts detailing some of Diddy's personal cash expenses that were detailed by his head of security, Fahim Muhammad. That was all for the day. The special agent will return on Monday to continue his testimony. The prosecution is still looking to rest their case on Monday. The defense attorney, originally they said it would take maybe 2 to 5 days to try their case, have reduced it down to 1 to 2 days. It has been reported that he will not get on the stand. So with that timeline, we may be looking at closing arguments by the end of next week, which will actually put us ahead of the original schedule of being done by the July 4th holiday.